What is up, RetroManiacs? Welcome to the Retro Card Chat Podcast. My name's Mike, and I'm from Mike's Retro Trading Cards. You know, it was a huge week in the sports memorabilia world. There was a photo-matched, game-worn jersey from the 1932 World Series, a Babe Ruth that sold for over $24 million. Of course, that's not the real story here. If you guys look really closely at that photo, right there in the front row, you'll see these two guys mooning the camera with HA on one cheek and, sure enough, PPY right there on the other. They are EP, Eric Pahalik, and Joe Day. How you doing, boys?
That checks out for us. I mean, that sounds like us.
How is Babe Ruth supposed to hit with that going on, Doug?
I don't know.
Oh my God,
He wasn't calling his shot. He was pointing to you guys, mooning him in the picture. So yeah,
happy.
Yeah.
Sure enough, right there on the other cheek. We were talking about EP and I golfed after we recorded the last pod, and actually played pretty well. I do need to throw that out there, but at one point he was getting ready to putt. And to be fair, EP does not generally like line up his putts. He just goes after it like a bull in a china shop, and sometimes we'll make like a random 20-foot putt. Right before he's going to make his putt, I ripped ass, because of course I did. And he turns to me, he goes, "How am I supposed to putt with that going on, Doug?" So yeah, good happy Gilmore reference there, Mike.
Yep, perfect. It was great.
Thank you. I worked really hard on that one. So.
One take too, everyone.
Yep,
he was very concerned.
One take.
One take.
One take. Why they call me One Take Mike?
Yeah, that's what we call you in the biz.
Yep, everybody does.
Yeah, I even walk into Walmart. They're like, "Hey, One Take Mike."
Hey, One Take. What's up, One Take?
How's it going, boys?
Doing great. I mean,
great. That is not a doing great face.
I'm a little tired, so I'm gonna have a little pick me up here.
Okay.
Is that a beer or a Monster? I'm not sure what the pick me up is.
Oh, it's a beer.
It's a beer.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, we joke around on the show a lot about, you know, me drinking all the time. I generally don't, everyone. When I hang out with these guys and we're going out, or, you know, EP and I will go golfing, but like on a daily basis, I do not. I don't come home and crack open a beer. I wish I did. I really wish I did. But I'm getting to that point where I'm so old now that if I drink one beer after work, I'm going to bed at 7 o'clock. Like, I'm either going to bed at 7 or I'm drinking until 3 in the morning. Like, it's no in between for me. So I generally don't. And I'm not drinking today because I did drink the last 2 days, and I feel fine, but I definitely don't need another alcohol beverage in my system. We had a local fantasy football league draft, and I had a few White Claws, 8% White Claws now. Like, what the hell is that? That was ridiculous. I had like 3 or 4 of those.
8%, you say?
8%, yeah.
You're like, let me write that down.
Maybe. And then yesterday, Hale beat Kent State.
On Saturday.
New quarterback, Saturday. Thank you, EP. Eli, our new quarterback. I'm a big fan of him. But I had 2 Bloody Marys, 2 Moscow Mules, and then I had like 2 or 3 beers while we were recording the live stream that we did for another case of Flair Ultra Wolverine. So I drank over the course of like 12 hours. So I'm good. I'm not having I'm in recovery today a little bit.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If Pitt won, why is Kenny Pickett not spinning?
You know, here's the thing. I was going to put the spinner back up there. And I thought, I'm going to move all the shit around, put the spinner up there, and their only win this year is going to be Kent State. And I'm going to just sit there, and it's going to taunt me all year. So I'm not going to do it. I am not doing it this year.
Okay.
A little reverse psychology. You know, I'm just saying, I'm not, because if it's sitting there and not spinning, but on the spinner, it's going to piss me off every Sunday as I look behind me. I'm just throwing, Monday morning when we record.
I feel like we would enjoy that, and we would enjoy that. Because now that
that's why I'm not doing it. You big dicks.
4 vulgarities in like the first 3 minutes of the podcast.
That's a new Metro Trading Cards record, I think.
Wow. So Anybody have anything, or should we just wrap it up right here?
Well, no, I mean,
okay. I was really hoping I was done for the day.
On extra innings, I revealed the cards that I'm going to do. We're doing order through Mike's account, so I'm excited about that. It is super risky because the cards are like a lot of $2 cards, a lot of like $1 cards, and there are a lot of very inexpensive cards that if they come back 9s, I'm gonna, I'm not gonna make my money back off of it. But I do. I'm pretty sure there are a few 10s in there too. That'll maybe it's a couple of them that'll do pretty well. So I'm excited to see how that comes back. I opened up the 3 boxes that I revealed, the 2 Spider-Mans and Star Wars, and I recorded those. They'll be on the channel at some point here in the next couple of weeks. And but I didn't get a ton of cards out of those. They're the quality and control and a lot of that stuff from back in the 90s, and the paper, like the thin paper and stuff, just not great. So yeah, I know. Yeah.
Those early 90s cards. It seems like a great idea. Oh, I'll get a box, I'll grade them, and then you start opening them, and you're like, wait a minute, I forgot. These are like,
and this is how thin the paper is. I was going to say, it's like just
the comic images. I think the comic images were even thinner than like the Impel, like the early Impel stuff. Like they're really thin.
That would be a cool rip, though. I'm anxious to watch those. I hope somebody uploads them on the channel sometime. So,
fingers crossed.
I don't know who's in charge of that. Not me. Well, I have a little channel business to get to here. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but we are over 1,400 subscribers, and we want to get to 1,500. Why? Because once we get to 1,500, then we can be big shots, right?
Yeah,
we can walk around, act all cool. We'll have all those advertising dollars coming in. We'll be set for life once we get to 1,500. So, if you're watching this channel, watching this show right now, and you're not subscribed, do it. What are you doing? Come on, do us a favor.
Yes,
hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Wouldn't you want to see us every week? We're here every Monday morning.
We all quit our jobs. We all quit our jobs to do this. So, guys,
that's not true.
And I heard a rumor that we may even plan a live stream once we hit 1,500.
And everyone loves those.
I turned the monetization off on that one, and we can be unfiltered and we can have fun. If you like this show, you'll like those live streams because it's like the show on steroids or cocaine, whichever.
Depends on what I've been drinking that night. But
that's true,
definitely like and subscribe. We don't ask often, so we're asking, but tell a friend too. I mean, if you're watching this, chances are you're subscribed, so we appreciate it. But tell a friend or make 500 accounts. I really, at this point, we just need to get over 1,500. That's the hope.
It's a small price to pay to see Joe Day unfiltered. Unfiltered Joe Day that is a sight to see. So just a simple click, just a simple little click, and just tell a friend. That's it.
Yep.
You can see a friend, this guy, a relative. Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your kids, tell your dog, tell your cat. I don't care. Just tell somebody. Get out there. Print up flyers and stick them on people's cars. Do your part.
Don't do that.
And we were thinking about taking the money that we've made to, over the monetization of the channel.
We make money?
Yeah, apparently.
Why don't I see any of this?
Well, actually, technically, you see all of it. We haven't seen any because it's under your account. But we were talking about, maybe we'll buy a box for the channel and rip it. I think instead, Mike, we should take an ad out in the Danville News or the Daily Item. I'm sorry. Maybe we take an ad out for people to subscribe. Wouldn't that be hilarious? EP, could you get that through for us? Could we get the friends and family
I don't
discount?
know how many people that want to watch our show will hit with an advertisement in the Daily Item. I mean, but I can make it happen.
Your average reader has to be in their late 70s, early 80s.
The print edition, probably 60 plus. Yeah. Online, we're way younger than that, but yes,
50s. Online is 50s plus.
Spry youngsters like me.
Yeah.
Well, I had a pretty cool situation. I had my pack stack sale, and thank you to everybody that participated in that. Everything that has been paid for has been shipped.
That's awesome.
Feels so good. But one of the people that bought some packs from me, out of his pack of 1996 SPX Baseball, pulled a Mike Piazza autograph card. They're like 1 in 2,000 packs. Like, how cool is that? That card has been sitting. It's not there, Joe.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
It's
All right.
more editing for me. It's a horizontal card. It's just, it's a lot of work.
Be tough. Yeah.
But that card has been sitting in that pack for almost 30 years.
That's wild.
And it was finally let loose into the world. Like, that's really cool. And like, I'm not just doing this to make money. Like, I love to see what people get out of their packs. I didn't get to rip them, so I want to know what they got out of them. Like, you have to show me, because it's like buying packs at my shop and walking out with them. Like, who does that?
How dare you?
Open them here. Yeah, I want to see what you got.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was a pretty cool little story.
That was an awesome card too. Like, holy cow!
Yeah.
Like, it was beautiful.
The auto popped. The
Yes,
auto still, after all these years, popped on a hologram of all things.
Right,
which was
right.
Cool.
I didn't know they were autographed. I didn't know they were available in those packs. But
they have Piazza and Griffey, I believe, were the only two that have.
Wow.
3 cards coming up, baby.
I'd take either one.
Yeah.
Well, sure. Did AI say that Mike Piazza was like the best rookie card to pull from the 90s, even though it was the Jeter card that they were referring to? So Mike Piazza,
AI loves that card.
A channel favorite here, Mike Piazza. Come on the channel, Mike. Let's talk.
Oh, so Joe, you told me you had something you wanted to talk a little bit about at the top of the podcast here. So what is it? What's going on?
Well, first, some channel notes too. Yesterday, Sunday, Mike uploaded a PSA reveal. Yes, I did a PSA submission. Go check that out. It might be some of these cards, doubles of these cards, but I sent some cards out to PSA. I'm actually sending them back to be reholdered because I'm me, but
because the one's cockeyed, is that why?
No, it's really not. Okay. There's debris in the one, and the other one is all scratched up because they don't put sleeves on them, which I actually do appreciate because the sleeves screw shit up all the time. But yeah, the one's all scratched up and there's debris in the other, and the CRC people were very nice. So thank you, PSA. Your customer service was very quick and they got back to me. And then also check out the live stream that me and Mike Jones, head of security for MRTC, we did Saturday, opened up another case of Fleer Ultra Wolverine. It's my last one until the 6-box sealed inner case that I ordered gets here. So anyway,
wait.
I didn't yet. I'm asking for a price. Anyway, so yeah, what I want to talk about is, I opened up some Fleer Ultra Wolverine. Obviously, I love that set. It's been a lot of fun. But Marvel has something out more recently, Marvel Metal. Okay. This was pre-selling on Dave and Adams at $325 a box. So about $100 a box more than the Fleer Ultra. I only bought a box. Go check that rip out for the channel. It was a fun rip. I will say that it was a fun rip. I preferred the Wolverine, but it is a fun rip. It was $325 at Dave and Adams if you're like a Dave and Adams member or whatever. And I believe it was the same at Steel City. People started ripping boxes on release day and started noticing how many numbered cards are coming out of this. I had multiple PMGs in mine. Like, that's crazy to think. Spider-Man Metal you'd be lucky to get a PMG out of a box. You got a numbered card, but it wasn't always a PMG. So anyway, all these hits are coming out. People are going crazy over this stuff, how great it is and how the value is awesome. And there's so many numbered cards and it's great. You can get a ton of PMGs, this and that. That's fine. So what Dave and Adams did, they pulled it. They've done this before. If something's selling really, really well, they pull it off their site. Not because they're sold out, but because they want to relist it at a higher price. Okay, whatever. They already paid Upper Deck the money. So literally whatever they raise it to is all profit for them. Okay, that's fine. I get it. Steel City, though, also pulled it that night. Okay, I wonder if they're going to relist it or if they're actually sold out. Turns out they both relisted it the next day. it went from $3.25 a box to at Dave and Adams $399.95. Huh. I wonder what it is over at Steel City. $399.95. I'm not saying that there's price fixing going on out there with distributors, but holy crap, guys. You could have maybe made one $399.99 so it doesn't look so obvious. But Dave or Adam called up Steel City or vice versa and said, hey, let's pull it down. We can make more money on this and we'll put it back up at the same price tomorrow. You cannot tell me that that is not occurring. We've talked about this before. It's gross. Distributors, it's all just profit for them, squeezing the living shit out of every possible customer that they can. And then now you have to the point, and I think the boxes went up again in price. Plus, they're selling on the secondary market, right? So someone gets them from Dave and Adams for $399.95. Guess what they're doing on eBay? They're selling for higher than that. It's getting to the point where there's not going to be value in these boxes because it's the normal cycle of life with cards. Everyone's excited for it. 2 weeks later, everything is on eBay for way less than what it was originally listed for. I'm seeing PMGs going for like $25 to $50 already out of this set. So you're not going to get the value out of it. And here you have Dave and Adams and Steel City and probably every other distributor going out and just pulling it off their sites, putting it back on at a higher price, the same exact higher price as everyone else. Is that not the definition of price fixing?
It is. I saw the same exact thing last year with the Immaculate WWE. I believe it was either Impeccable or Immaculate. They came out, they were at a certain price. Then the next day, they were all, it was, I think another Blowout Cards was in there too. They were all the same price, all the same higher price the next day. It wasn't because they sold out. They didn't sell out and get more in at a higher price. This is what they do. And when you throw Panini into the mix, because they sell this stuff on release and then the price somehow goes up on all their sites for the same price. And then Panini comes in with their not Dutch auction. They just had it listed on the site.
On their store.
And guess what? It was the same price.
What?
So yeah, this is something that's been going on in the hobby and it doesn't get talked about enough. Obviously they're big claims, but anybody who watches this stuff and sees it, like if you have a retail business, you know what's happening. The fact that they're all doing this and coming in at the same price, I think means there is some communication going on at what are you guys coming in at? Where are we going to go to? I think that happens. This is not a random occurrence over and over and over again.
Well, Steve from Rittenhouse, he said that they all definitely monitor the secondary market for their products. I'm guessing boxes and singles. So there's, if you're a retailer, like a Steel City or whatever, you're going to do the same thing. Like everybody's paying attention to that sort of stuff. If you are dealing in it, like they're definitely paying attention. And so, technically it's not, is it illegal? Is price fixing illegal in that regard? I guess it might be, but
I don't want to throw out legalities at all because I really honestly don't know. But regardless of the legality of it or not, it really is a kick in the old shorts to any collector who wants to just have a fun rip. That's why kids can't afford stuff like this. Just regular collectors can't afford stuff like this anymore. It is wild. And I do want to say before we move on, shout out to a friend of the channel, Mike the Cleaner. He's the one who sent me the screen caps of Steel City and Dave and Adams prices. I don't think he thought I was going this direction with it because he was just saying, oh, look, these are super high valuable now. And to me, I just looked at it and said, yeah, but do you not see the down to the penny, down to the penny, the same price? It's kind of, I don't know. It's just, boy, it feels really gross. If it's not illegal, which I don't know. Again, I'm not going to speak to legality. Right. It's just gross. Yeah, because they're just squeezing money out of collectors. And now a collector is going to open up a box for over $400, I believe now, and get maybe $200 out of it. It's turning into, and I said this before we started recording, with Mike before you got on, EP. It feels like a Panini Prism product at this point. Like they're hiding numbered cards in there to kind of make it look really, really great.
Juice it
but
up.
Then when you juice it up, but then if you don't hit one of those handful of key characters, the Spider-Mans, the Dooms now because of our Robert Downey Jr., Hulk and Captain America, you don't hit one of those, 10 to 15 characters, and it's a big checklist. You're probably losing money on it, especially at that $400 level. I might have lost money at $325, and I pulled decent characters.
Do you think these box prices go down within a month or two, or do you think they stay the same, or do you think they go up? What do you think?
I don't know what the print run is. Like Spider-Man Metal was one of the most hyped products.
It's still outrageous. The prices on that are still way high, right?
No, compared to where they were, the boxes are $325 now.
Oh, really? Okay.
You can get them for $325. I mean, I think they were up to over $400 at one point. But again, that's another thing. I could, if I wanted a Doctor Strange PMG from that, it's like $50. A Doctor Strange, pretty big character, $50 for a number to 100 PMG. I mean, the value just is not going to correlate to what you're paying at this point, even at the original price tag, in my opinion.
Well, speaking of price tags, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the podcast this week. Topps Chrome basketball and composite football have both hit the market. The Topps Chrome basketball boxes are selling for $500 and up on eBay, and the composite football is selling like $375 to $400 on eBay. A lot of hype surrounding everything. Clearly the breakers are probably making tons of money on this product. Topps was pumping the composite football. They sent out the picture of that RPA of Stroud, which they did a good job with a lot of the football players of getting a front on picture of them, so you can't notice there isn't anything. But I wasn't sure how I felt about everything, but seeing pictures of the cards and stuff, I think the lack of a license bothers me more than I realized it did, because those, especially the basketball, because they have the logo, the names on their jerseys, like it just looks cheap to me. I don't know. I mean, clearly it's hugely popular right now, but I really have my doubts about the long-term popularity of these. I think they're a flash in the pan. There's something new. Oh, Topps Chrome is back, and Composite's here, which is kind of like Finest in Chrome. So, I feel like this is a short-term bump where lots of breakers, and clearly Topps is making a ton of money off of this stuff, and people who were lucky enough to get it from them are able to make a lot of money off it if they want to sell it by the box. But I don't like it. I don't like them.
EP?
I will go second. Yeah, these are fake cards. I will stand by that the cards with no logos on them are fake. No logos are for fake cards. I remember the first time I ever saw it, I forget what product it was, and I opened up this pack of cards. I was like, what's wrong with this card? Why does it look? What's like what? And I was like, there are no logos. There's no like team. And I was just, and every time I think of an unlicensed card, I think it's a fake card. So I just can't. I can't deal with it. I won't buy them.
Consistency, by the way. I wish there was more of it in the hobby, because influencers who drive Leaf all the time are now telling you how great this is, and that's horse crap. And I was actually watching an episode of Chasing Cardboard a couple of nights ago, and Ty was looking at a collection of Leaf cards of this guy who was prospecting, and he had a ton of Leaf and he had a ton of Panini baseball, right? So a lot of unlicensed stuff. And Ty records these, I suspect, like months ago, and just puts them out as episodes every couple of weeks. So this is before this product came out, and he asked the people in the comments to comment what you think about unlicensed cards, because he was having a hard time bringing himself to put a big number out for this entire collection, because a lot of it's unlicensed and it just doesn't hold the value. I showed so much restraint not reading those comments. I feel so proud of myself right now, because I can just hear people now throwing those cards, those Leaf cards and those Panini baseball cards completely under the bus. And then I guarantee you 90% of the people saying that are out there buying this
Composite.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So like, to me, I'm the same way, Mike. I looked at it and I'm like, I mean, I guess if I was a Texans fan and I really wanted a CJ Stroud rookie card, again, year of our Lord 2024, he was drafted over a year ago, but whatever. I want a Topps rookie card of CJ Stroud or Topps autograph rookie card of CJ Stroud. I guess I would push myself, but I didn't do it with Kenny Pickett pick cards. If you remember that, like if they were unlicensed college cards, I didn't buy them. I didn't want them. I wanted to see that Pitt logo as an alum. So I don't know. I don't know if I could bring myself to buy them, but they're going to be pumped up, and they already have been, and they will continue to be until a license set. Then we can go back to normal, right, kids? We can say, oh, hey, now we only want licensed stuff. Panini's doing unlicensed stuff, and Leafs doing unlicensed stuff. We hate that again. We just want the licensed stuff from Topps now.
So if you want to get, go ahead.
Here's the problem I have though. The Wembanyama rookies out of the Topps Chrome, the base rookies, are selling for like $100. He has many rookie cards that are licensed that he's in his real jersey. Like, okay, if you want to buy the autograph, I can understand maybe why you're going after it, but why in the hell are you buying base rookie cards from an unlicensed set?
That's
for way more than what you're paying for base cards out of Prism or Optic or Select or anything. This, like, tell me how it makes sense, please, somebody.
That blows my mind when you said that. Like, I had no clue. That might be the dumbest thing in the hobby right now, and that says a lot. You know, like I cannot wrap my head around when you have options. Like you said, Mike, if it's an autograph, I get it. You want his autograph. I get it. But a base card, and say what you will about Panini. I know you don't like them, EP. I know you don't like some of the designs. They have some nice looking cards, regardless of how you feel about them. They have some nice Mosaic's, a nice looking set. Select is a nice looking set. There's a lot of stuff out there that you can go and get that look really, really nice. Why would you want an unlicensed base Topps Chrome card of a rookie that, again, was drafted a year ago? Like,
I have three things. Like, first off, I feel like you guys both hit on it. The rookie card logo is like the one thing. If you must have a Topps rookie card, like this is going to be your option for these players. But then also there for some of them there are other options. Other companies. But if you have the Topps rookie card, you think, well, I need to have a Topps rookie card, but paying $100 for a base card is outrageous. It's super dumb. And I mean, then I was going to make a joke. Do you guys think these are all the people that were mad about the curtain background Panini Prism?
I thought about
card?
the curtain.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what this is? Like, these people are all like, oh, no, that's not a real rookie card. This is my real rookie card. Yeah. And so then the third thing is slipped my mind as things go. So.
As soon as you said I have three things, I'm like, EP, don't set yourself up like that, because there's no way we're getting to that third thing. If you think about it, let us know. But
we'll do.
I was thinking about that with the curtain as well. Maybe people are like,
finally
pitchforks at the castle kind of thing. But
and
wild.
People don't consider Panini baseball cards rookie cards. They don't consider Leaf cards rookie cards. Why are so many people accepting these products as rookie cards when they have licensed products out there? Exactly. Like, the Fanatics has done a fantastic job of making everybody kiss their butt, and the bigger influencers and the people with the bigger channels on YouTube have to say a certain thing, or else you might make somebody mad, and then they won't send you a free box, or they won't give you a press VIP pass for an event they're holding. So all these people are looking to get for themselves, like, we're small, we don't care. This is why it's fun to watch small channels, because they're not on the take. They're going to tell you how they feel. This is dumb. They aren't rookie cards. I don't care how much it costs, how much people are charging for it. They're just like, go ahead, EP.
I was just going to say that I remember the thing I was going to say. I would not put it past Topps / Fanatics in any stretch of imagination. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I won't put it past them that in 2025 or 2026, when they get the license, they release a set of 2023 retro cards with the rookie cards and stuff in it.
I
right?
think I might have even made that joke before.
Oh, really?
That they're
Okay.
going to have
All right.
rookie cards in 2025 for 2023 players. The new and improved. And it's just going to be the same card with the logos on. Guaranteed. It's going to be the same exact card. Mark my words. They're going to have some sort of composite or whatever, Chronicles or whatever. Like, they're going to have something like that where it's going to be the exact same cards with the logos. To your point, Mike, about big time influencers being on the take, I sent this to you guys last night. Pac-Man, Topps Football has returned, big exclamation point. Topps Football is back with the new composite. Boom, 2023 hobby. Again, it's 2024, but whatever. But is he mad he did not get a card in Big League? How many Leaf products has this guy opened? He opens everything. Guarantee you he's not opening up Leaf. Guarantee you he's not opening up Panini baseball. Like, why is this any different? It's different because people like Jeff Wilson are in your parlance, Mike, they're on the take and they're telling their hundreds of and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of subscribers, go buy this stuff. This is amazing. This is the greatest thing to happen in sports since Topps lost their license in 2015. Go buy it. And people are going to buy it. And it's just, it's gross. It's just absolutely gross the way they're doing it. And the theme of the week so far is just people doing gross things in this hobby. theme of the show.
Theme of the podcast.
Yeah, we've had so many episodes.
We have. Well, there are rumors that the Wembanyama 1 of 1 has already been pulled. Now, there was a post made, I think it was to Instagram, but I could be wrong about that. But nobody's really sure whether this is real or if it isn't real. So was it a photoshopped card? Did somebody actually pull it? The account didn't have many followers. So, I mean, it is a good point though. If you pulled that card, are you the person? Some people don't want to go on social media and go, oh, look at me, I got this card. So the fact that it's an account that didn't have many followers or anything, and it kind of came out of nowhere, doesn't necessarily mean that they didn't really pull it. But they're for as much money as this is selling for, I kind of have to think that whether that is or isn't might impact although the hype is so high right now that people be like, well, I'll pull the 1 of 2 instead of yes, they do have cards numbered to 2 as well. Just
of course freaking Panini, am I
they
right?
Probably have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Of course they do. Of course they do. Anyone who thought they would be any different than Panini, anyone who thought Panini or Fanatics was going to be any different than Panini is just crazy. So to your point, people who win the lottery sometimes, ain't that the truth? I didn't want to say it. He's a friend.
I didn't say it.
Anyone who watches, sometimes though, people win a big lottery and they will literally sign for it with a mask on, because they don't want people to know who they are. So I could see that a little bit where they don't want people to know they pulled the 1 of 1. That being said, I guarantee you everyone who said, oh, that can't be the 1 of 1 are people who have a ton of wax that they're going to try and sell.
Right.
Or Fanatics themselves. Fanatics are I don't think that,
they already sold theirs. They already made their money on it.
Yeah, that's true.
Although they'd lose money on the back end with the breaking. Maybe.
Right. And David Adams and Steel City are calling each other up. Okay, what should we raise the price together with? What are we thinking here? To the penny? Yeah.
There are several cards out there. Isn't there a Steph Curry rookie card, 1 of 1 rookie card out there that's still allegedly hasn't been pulled?
Luka has
Luka. Yeah. So there very well could have been pulled. All the hype around the hobby is there's it's never been pulled, but these cards very well could have been pulled, and just people aren't on social media. If you think about the percentage of people that are collectors but not on social media is probably a very large amount of people not on social media. So
especially the year Luka came out, before the massive boom,
right?
I mean, where everyone felt they needed everyone to follow them around with a camera or tweet every single thought they have. I mean, someone could have easily pulled that, put it in, and maybe they don't even know. They might know us because we're so influential, almost to 1,500. But maybe they don't know a Jeff Wilson. Wouldn't that be a great world to live in? And they're like, you know what? This is just my card and I really like it. I don't, what's it worth? You know, like there are still people out there. It's hard to believe, but there are.
There are a lot of collectors that have no idea who Jeff Wilson is. I stand by that statement. Like, again, like YouTube and social media and the bigger, like, it is a small fraction of the overall collector base. And there, I guarantee you, walking around the National, there were a lot of people like wondering, why does that guy have this camera crew following behind him? Like, no disrespect to Jeff, it's just, you know, we kind of live in a bubble. A lot of the bigger people live in a bubble too, where they kind of assume that, you know, everybody knows them. I have 200 and some thousand followers, subscribers. Like, people have to know me. And then you realize, yeah, but there are millions and millions and millions of people in this hobby. That means there are a lot of people that don't know you. So,
Rob Ingalls, your buddy Rob, didn't know who Jeff Wilson was when I said, "Oh, look at Rob. He's sharing something from Jeff Wilson and doesn't even watch our channel." He didn't know who I was talking about.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the perfect example right there.
Right.
Well, you know, we talked about the 1-of-1 USA Olympic basketball card with Steph Curry, LeBron, KD autograph on it. Apparently, what's happening is, if you got a parallel, Topps are sending, I think I have this right. If you got the base, you just get the cards. I think if you got a parallel, though, it comes in a pack. And in that pack, you could have the 1-of-1, you could have a different parallel or whatnot. There are people, though, trying to sell these packs, because I checked and none had sold on eBay for anywhere from $8,000 a pack to $25,000 a pack.
These could just be chance to pull 1-of-1. Is that's what they're selling?
Your chance, your chance to get $1 million card.
Listen, I'm so proud of this hobby. The restraint everybody has shown to not buy these so far, because so far, like, but that, I mean, $8,000 seems like a price that there are some people out there with more money than brains would have already clicked the buy it now on, right? Like, that feels like a number that somebody would pay that amount of money to get that. But you could just get a foil, like probably a foil parallel that is not numbered, right? Like, there's I'm not sure what all the parallels are. It could be just a refractor.
And I guarantee you, there's a ton of parallels.
Yes,
for them to trick people in the numbers. Would it
they
shock
printed
you?
588,000.
I think it may be numbered parallels, but I'm not one.
Okay.
I can't check my phone because I'm using it for my camera. I have a picture of the pack, but I have a more nefarious reason.
Okay.
I feel like Topps fanatics, you know, Michael Rubin, I feel like they decided to do this on purpose, because now breakers will be able to obtain these packs and run breaks off them. You would think normally, Mike, you might be a little crazy, but then again, people break everything. And now, through Fanatics Live, Topps will be able to make a ton more money because they didn't make enough on the however many millions and millions of dollars we figured out they made from selling these cards. They didn't make enough. They want to get a little on the back end, because this is what they do. This is what our hobby is now. How can we get money coming and get money going? I feel like they did these so they'll end up in breakers' hands and they can get a cut of that sale too.
I love when Mike prefaces things like, this might be crazy. No, what? Like, this is the crazy thing I've heard. I mean, of course they're doing that. I think they do it with I think breakers do national packs and things like that.
Oh, yeah, they do tons of them.
Stuff like that. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Laytons of the world, if the Blezes of the world, and all the big breakers, anyone who breaks on Fanatics, the sports card investor people, whatever it is, Cards HQ, I wouldn't be surprised if they ordered a ton of these, thinking that, oh, maybe we'll get some packs too, you know. And I'm sure Jeff Wilson knew that this is how they're going to be distributing them.
I'm sure more people knew that than the general public did. Yeah,
right.
That's
exactly
what bothers me too, is that like, if the general public knew that they were going to come that way, would maybe some of them have ordered even more? Like, I don't know. Like, it makes you really wonder because I guarantee you there are people in this hobby that knew they were going to do it this way.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like the Topps over there just ringing the cash register, cha-ching, cha-ching,
Oh,
cha-ching. And you think the people that are thinking these things up, you think I picture them in like a dark smoke-filled room, just sitting around a table, just like all like figuring this stuff out, right? Kind of all nefarious.
No, not at all. I think they're doing it in a boardroom with all the lights on because they know they can. Like, there's no smoke-filled rooms. Remember, that's the type of card shop they wouldn't like, EP.
That's true. That's true.
Like, they're doing this out in front, and they're saying the quiet part out loud every time. Every time that we think they're doing something skeezy and schemy and gross, it's like, yeah, but they pretty much told us they were going to do this, right? Like, they're not shy about it. They're just doing it, and we're like, oh, can you believe? Yes. Anytime you say about this hobby and about fanatics, can you believe? My answer is always going to be yes. Yeah. Until someone says, can you believe they lowered the price on something and they're going to, not parallel the shit out of it? I'll be like, no, I can't believe that. Everything else, though, I'm pretty sure I can say yes. I can't believe it.
Well, something else that I can't believe. I know, Joe, you sent me this. Heritage Auctions had some auctions that completed for Ricky Henderson Topps rookie cards. The PSA 10 on one night sold for $180,000. The very next night, I believe, the auction for the SGC 9.5 ended at $17.4 thousand. So the PSA 10 is apparently more than 10 times the value than an SGC 9.5. Now, for those that don't understand grading, let me just point out to you that PSA does not have a 9.5 grade. So I was watching somebody's video this past weekend where he talked about this a little bit, but when PSA has a card that would land in a 9.5, they have to decide whether it's a 10 or whether it's a 9 because they don't have a 9.5 grade. So that card in the SGC 9.5 slab could very well be just as good as the one in the PSA 10, but it sells for less than 10% of the value of that other card. Like, there are a lot of things with grading that just blow my mind. We know a lot of things that don't make sense, but this one just shot up to the top of the list.
And I want to give a shout out where I saw this originally. Dan the Card Man did a video on this, and it was very informative. And he said a lot of things about opinions. Again, like you were just alluding to, Mike. I mean, it's got an opinion. If you think this is 9.5 at PSA, you have to choose if you're the grader. And I'm not going to, again, at this point, I think more people are like me now, where I just assume nefarious things are happening. I think people need to smarten up because chances are it probably is more nefarious than that. Who owned that 10? Who owned that card that got it graded? I wonder if the graders know. Wouldn't be surprised if they do. I mean, because that, from what I understand, from what Dan was saying in his video, that's a very pop controlled card in a PSA.
Oh, very, very rare. Yeah, I mean,
so, and if you look at the difference between the two, I couldn't tell. They look pretty similar to me. So, yeah, I just can't fathom a world that we live in where I can't fathom a world that we live in that a card is worth $180,000 anyway. And that's a low end card. That's like nothing in the hobby nowadays. But the fact that you look at that card and it looks better in a tux, in my opinion, but you look at that card and you're telling me that card is $160,000+ more valuable. Give me the 9.5 and 106. My first house cost less than $160,000. Like, that is wild. And it just goes to show people buy the label. They don't buy the cards anymore. Did anyone even look at the card when they were bidding on that PSA 10 versus the SGC 9.5? Did anyone look at the card itself? They saw the label, made sure the cert number checked out. There it is, done. And it's just, I mean, it's not the downfall of the hobby, but man, I always say Facebook is the downfall of Western civilization, right? Social media. I'm pretty sure that this might be the downfall of the hobby in 10 years. It's like, oh, I just wasted $160,000 on cards that look almost identical.
That we talk about a lot of outrageous stories on this show, and normally a lot of times they deal with people losing millions of dollars worth of cards because they mailed them to a hotel or something like that, right? But this is up there as among the most outrageous stories in my opinion. Like, there's no absolutely zero reasoning of why those cards should be that vastly different, especially with an SGC, which is a lot of times for vintage cards considered to be the go-to, right? And so like the gap there is so crazy. Anybody could snap out the SGC and send in the PSA and possibly get a 10, and that card could be worth just the same amount of money. And Joe said about how the nefarious part might be the person that sent in and got the PSA 10. Oh, who did they know at PSA to get that 10? But then also my thinking is that outrageous amount difference in price. Like there, I feel like there's got to be something else going on there where like that. I mean, I would think the 9.5 is probably more the price that a 10 should be. Like I don't know what PSA 10s go for. I know it's a super rare card, but it just feels like it's
apparently they go for $180,000.
Whatever the last sale is what they go for, right? To your point, EP, kind of on the reverse of that. If you cracked out that PSA 10, don't. If you're the buyer, don't do that. But if you cracked out that, well, actually do it. I probably don't like
do it. Go ahead.
Crack it out. Send it to PSA. Send that card to PSA 10 times and tell me what it comes back at. You know, like that's the other part of this. Like it's not a serial number card, so they won't say, "Oh, we carried it at 10 last time." Send it off to PSA and let me know what it comes back. Because I guarantee you, half the time, at least, it's coming back a 9, and then maybe a handful of times it comes back at 10 if you're lucky. So again, it's just opinion by the person working that day. You know, people make fun of us for saying, "Oh, if they had a bad day in the office, maybe that would have been a 9 instead of a 10." I truly believe that. I don't think that's silly at all to think, because it is a human, after all, doing this, a human with a lot of emotions. So you never know.
Doing a very subjective thing too. So that's what
the
to
key
keep
word
in mind.
there,
like
subjective.
it is a human being giving an opinion, a subjective opinion on the condition of a card. And you know, we've all looked at cards. You look at them under a loop. You look at it one time, you look at it again, they look different. Like, so you can see like the amount of money that changes hands because of one person's opinion. Now, they may have had other people look at it too. I'm sure at that level, they probably signed off on it, but still it's an opinion. And we remember in Atlantic City, we saw the Mantle 9.5 SGC.
Oh yeah.
And the PSA 10. We saw them up close, and the SGC was a nicer looking card, period. End of discussion. But because it was in a PSA 10 label, that Mantle was worth a lot more money. It was cockeyed. How's it a 10?
Here's my question. So the person that graded either the Mantle a 10 or the Ricky Henderson, in this case, a 10, right? So that one person, in your mind as the buyer, that one person is the authority, right? They're the ones that said that's a 10. Say that person quits and goes to Beckett, and they're grading your card again, and they graded a 10. Well, they're the authority. They graded it the first time. They went to another company. Why is their opinion of that other company any different? Answer me that. It's so stupid.
But because the label's different, one's worth 180,000, the other would be worth like
the
50,000.
Same human graded it and just put a different label on it because maybe he has to pick up shifts at Beckett because he putting a kid through college. You're telling me because he put that label on it with a different grading company, that card should be worth way less? Come on now. That's ridiculous.
Do you guys think that these graders sit there and think, if I give this a 9, it's worth X, and it's worth 10?
Absolutely.
Or 10, it's worth X. That's such an outrageous jump in price for that card. Like, they definitely know about that, right? They pay attention.
Absolutely. How could you not? Even if you aren't supposed to take that into consideration, again, it's a human being. There's no way to not take that into consideration. You know, if I put a 9 on this, person's going to get this value. If I put a 10, they're getting this. You know it. So I don't know. Yeah, just crazy though, the difference in price. Give me the 9.5 and I'll buy a house somewhere too.
Yep.
All right, so you brought up Pac-Man, and this is not specifically about Pac-Man, but Pac-Man opens, rip stuff all the time. He pulls some pretty good stuff. He pulls some bad stuff too. He's not all good stuff, but there are people out there that feel like the influencers get loaded boxes from the manufacturers. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But Run Good Life had a tweet the other day that I thought was kind of interesting, and I thought this would be a good conversation to have. His point was that for all the people out there that think that the influencers are just getting loaded boxes, take this into consideration. There are a lot of people out there that have YouTube channels who are very concerned about the image they portray and how popular they are, that are more than willing to maybe spend a lot of money, rip multiple boxes, record it all on video, and they only end up showing you the one that they pull the big hit. This resonated with me because even at our level, like if we have multiple boxes of something, like I feel like it's definitely more interesting. I'm going to post the one. If I recorded 2 boxes of a rip of 2000 something, I'm going to probably post the one that had a little better stuff in it because I think people are going to find that more interesting. Now, this is on a lower level, but we're a little channel. We're not doing it to try to have clout or get fame, but you can see how very easy that could become once you start to grow and you get more of a name on YouTube and you have more subscribers to your channel to try to keep that up. And I think he really nailed it on the head right here, that I think that is what happens way more than necessary. Now, I can understand why getting loaded boxes would look good and maybe companies would want people to do that. But I do think they're ripping a lot and they're showing you the best of what they get.
Yeah, it's completely possible. I mean, if you look at, I'll just use Northeast Ohio Cards and Comics as an example. He got a box of Wolverine from Upper Deck, and he opened it on the channel and got a green medallion. I mean, it was Toad, but still, I mean, it's a green medallion. It's a number 10 card. And I'm wondering, is that the box they sent him, or did he record a couple of rips and that's the one he posted? Because it looks weird that an influencer got a number 10 medallion and just happen to rip it on their channel. I actually think that makes Upper Deck look worse, but so yeah, it's completely possible. And we joke around all the time. We show everything warts and all. We don't open up a ton of product. Like, ironically, the 2 biggest hits I think I've ever pulled weren't on the channel. It's like, had we known that Captain America green was going to be in that box that I ripped at the National, we would have gotten the cameras out, or I would have had this Patrick Stewart on the channel when I ripped it, just sitting and opening it up and having a good time. And I know I've made comments in rips before, like, oh, I don't know if this is going to make the channel unless it's something, really good. That's more because we are a small channel. We don't do this full time. So it's hard for us to, like, especially for Mike, who edits everything, to put everything on the channel. Like, we just don't have that kind of time. It is what it is. But if this is I don't want to call it job, but if this is your main focus in the hobby, is putting content out all the time, yeah, you want people to, huge banger, got a huge banger out of this box, and you want to pull people into your channel to watch that stuff. And again, if this is your source of income and this is the way you hobby, this is the way you maybe pay for your hobby, I can totally understand why people would want to do that. I would hope we never do. I always joke around about your Prism, WWE Prism from a couple years ago, Mike. 2 of the worst boxes I've ever seen in my life. I mean, of anything.
Anything ever. Yes.
Anything ever, potentially. So, yeah.
Well, I opened a box of Bowman Inception. It's like bare in those boxes there. Bowman Inception University. It was a big deal. $200 for like 5 cards, or whatever, which is definitely not something that I think it was like $160 for 5 cards. Not my kind of thing. But there was like Wembanyama and Caitlin Clarkson there, and I remember being excited. And I recorded it, but it's a 5-card rip, and I got absolutely squat out of it. So like, and nobody wants to watch that. Like, why would you want to put that out there? And I've talked about that, but after I opened it, I talked about it on the show here. I think the issue is when people aren't genuine about the amount of product they're ripping. I think that's more of the possibly an issue that people could be upset about. I feel like it's kind of adjacent to the people who are like, got the last blaster from Walmart and look what I pulled when they got the last blaster because they took 20 other blasters. Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? They got the last blaster for sure because they took care of it and took everything that was there. And then they pulled, it's like, oh, in their car rip, and they show off this card they got in their car rip. I think that's kind of adjacent to that, where it's just a little ingenuine. And I think that's the part that I think if have an issue, that's the issue I would have.
That's a really, really good point. Like, if you just want to put up the banging boxes, cool, but say, hey, this is the best box. I opened up 6 others. Don't think that this is the average box. Or don't, you need to be definitely more transparent than you are. Like, I opened up I think a below average box of a card for the channel. I mean, I got a Tim Rutt. Don't get me wrong, I love Tuvok, but it wasn't Patrick Stewart. And I even made the joke. I'm like, I kind of am glad I didn't open up the Patrick Stewart, because I don't want people to think like that's a very hard card to pull. I pulled 2 cases and only got one of them. I mean, it's a very hard card to get. So unrealistic expectations, I think, is a major issue in this hobby. A lot of people just see these influencers open up stuff and like, oh, Pac-Man just pulled 3 101s out of 3 straight boxes. That means I can get a 101 out of one of these boxes. That is not how it works, folks. It's always a losing battle opening up wax, regardless.
And that is a big part of it. Like, I feel like we all have a little bit of a responsibility to, when we're opening stuff, because whether it's right or wrong, there are people that watch content of rips and decide to make financial purchases based off that. That's the way our hobby is. If you see somebody pulling something really good out of a box of cards, something in your head is like, maybe I'll get a box of that. I could get really lucky too. And if you've opened multiple boxes and you got like 5 that are awful and 1 that was really good, let the people know, let them know, be honest about, okay, this was a great box, but don't expect to get this in every box because I opened 5 more that I got nothing out of. I didn't think you'd want to watch that, so I posted this one for you. You're probably not going to see that, but like, people, like, you just have a little bit more responsibility. Know that there are people viewing that might make bad financial decisions based on what you're showing them, and if you're creating an illusion that these are good if you're only showing them the good stuff. It's okay to do that, but like EP said, be upfront about it. Let people know that there are also really bad boxes. Like, watch my WWE Prism.
Right. Or take a look at like the full body of work with the Wolverine cases. I mean, there were some stinker boxes in there, but I opened so much. If you go box by box, there are stinker boxes. Yeah. I mean, the same Mike Jones and I for the channel did the box battle. Those 2 boxes, I assume, came from the same inner case that David Adams opened to put on display. One box was freaking awesome. The other box was one of the worst I've ever seen. Like, they came from the same case. So that happens a lot. I do want to shout out before we move on, Silver Sports. I've mentioned them before. They open up a lot of product. They open up everything. If you want a real world idea of how much money you can lose opening up wax, go watch Silver Sports, because they will hit the 101s every so often. But there are times where Ed will look at it and goes, well, I just flushed $500 down the toilet. Like, and he'll be completely honest about it. So watch channels like that they put up so many stinkers that for a fact that they are not just cherry picking boxes to put out.
I just had an idea. I feel like I need to buy 1 more box of 2022 WWE Prism and rip it for the channel.
Yeah, do it.
What do you think?
If we hit 1,500 subscribers, do it on the live stream. There it is, kids. Get us to 1,500.
Let us know. Let me know in the comments. Should I do that? I can't do any worse, right?
When I said it.
That would be so bad that it would be great content if I
It
did
really
somehow do
would
worse,
be.
right?
Oh, it'd be fantastic.
Just throwing
You
that
open it
out
up-
there.
If you open it up as GI Joe packs, actually, that might not be worse.
That might have been better. It definitely would have been better than the other boxes. Oh man, I don't know where we're going here, but I'm gonna, if I remember, I will put the picture up here. And if I'm pointing here and the picture's not up there, you'll know I didn't remember to do it. Like Joe was saying, I have a lot of editing to do.
Yes.
This takes a long time. But
Yes.
there was an Anthony Richardson optic rookie. I saw this posted on Twitter, and like somebody's like, look at this. And I'm like, what? It's a base card of
Right.
like, why is it in a Panini sealed holder? I don't know what's going on here. I literally had to see another tweet about it that the person said, this is not a base card. And I'm like, again, what is it? I don't,
Right.
what is going on here? If you looked really close on his blue sock on his calf in blue ink, there's a tiny little AR for Anthony Richardson. Now, call me a conspiracy theorist. Let me put Joe's big helmet on here, but
Strap-ins. Oh, jeez.
I think he's doing that on purpose. There is no way in the world. I'm joking. He is absolutely doing this on purpose. There's no way in the world on an autograph card he took a blue marker and took the only little blue part in the card and very small put an AR if he isn't trolling everybody that collects cards.
I'm going to look for the exact text I sent you when you sent this. And I said, it's like he's trolling people at this point, right? And you were like, yeah, it's got to be. I mean,
It
at
has
this
to
point,
be. There's
like,
no
there's no
way you
way.
put that there. No
Because
way.
it
That
was
is not
such-
random.
it was such a big controversy. Oh, this auto's too small. It must be auto pen. This auto's too big. Can't be Anthony Richardson. Like, it was such a big moment in the hobby. I would not be surprised if like his manager was like, let's screw with some people now and hide your auto.
He's
It's
doing
like
it on purpose. Yeah.
It's a Where's Waldo situation trying to find the thing. It's fantastic.
I don't know, guys. Maybe it's possible that he was just signing a lot and just happened to this sort of the pen just happened to end up when he got to that card, right? I'm totally joking about this. There's no way, right? It's
if this was a
definitely-
Fanatics
no
card,
way.
EP would say that's what happened. But since it's a Panini card, EP's all in on them screwing the collector again.
I like it clearly now, though. I think I'm positive that the different size and the different autographs is him doing that on purpose.
Yeah.
Just to have fun somehow in his mind and mess with collectors.
Oh, he's probably laughing it up. He's probably loving it. He's probably.
I'm
over-
getting paid for
Look at
this. Let me show these people that are going to try to make money off of me, who is being paid to do this.
Mhm.
Again, he's being paid to do it. And I'm going to mess with all these people that collect this stuff that I'm being paid to do.
I wonder, are his autos on footballs and helmets and stuff the same as they are on the cards, or does he change it for those?
I don't know that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Actually, that brings up a really quick point I wanted to make, and I meant to mention this a couple of weeks ago when we had bought our new car. You have to obviously sign a ton of paperwork for the loan and stuff, and I'm signing, and I said, oh man, I really wish I could autograph it, and I made the George Pickens comment where his is just like a line and a dot, and the guy actually said that is an autograph, not a signature. There's a difference between an autograph and a signature, because I had made the point, would you buy a house with that, autograph? I've made that comment before on the channel. The guy was he goes, I guarantee you George Pickens' name, how he signs it in real life and how he signs it on cards are completely different, because one is a legally binding signature, it's called, versus an autograph. So I wouldn't be surprised if all these players have the quick auto, and then if they were actually trying to buy something in the real world, have their full signature that they use. Maybe some people do both. I always wondered about like wrestlers, Mike, like they have to sign The Undertaker, and then Mark Calloway or Callis or whatever his name is has to actually sign his real name on stuff. I wonder how that works. That throws him off a little bit.
I've always wondered with wrestling autographs too. There was a fake Diesel and a fake Razor Ramon. So like if I had an autograph card of the fake Razor Ramon and I sent it to PSA, would that pass as authentic because it was actually Razor Ramon at the time?
Yeah.
I'm
That's
just
true.
saying.
Yep.
Things that
Buy
go
one and
through
test
my
it out.
head.
Got to buy them and test them out. Yep.
That's a
Test
well.
case.
Wasn't Kane the fake Diesel then? So he could sign it, Kane, Diesel, and County Commissioner, whatever his real life name is, because he was
Glenn Jacobs
Glenn Jacobs, County Commissioner, or
and
whatever.
Isaac Yankum.
Isaac Yankum. Yeah, there it is. All of them.
Wow. There you go. Michael Rubin. If you want to put out a huge card when you get the WWE license,
Yeah.
do that right there.
Yeah, a booklet. And you open it up, it's all of Kane's. That would actually be really, really cool. Like the autographs for all of them. Diesel, Oz, Kevin Nash, Big Sexy. I mean, there's all sorts of Vinny Vegas. Come on.
We're getting a little off track here. All right. Well, I'm going to throw out one more thing here to you. We often worry about our friends at Panini because, by the way, speaking of Panini, whatever happened with that break-in? Why do we never, ever, ever hear anything about the break-in in Panini's
Ruben
headquarters?
paid some people off. Ruben paid some people off to make
That's
sure.
That's bizarre, isn't it? Nothing. Somebody broke into their headquarters and then never happened.
Listen, I'm not a conspiracy theorist of this panel, but by any stretch. But I firmly believe when something like that happens and you don't hear anything more about it, it's because they know exactly what happened and they don't want anybody else to know exactly what happened. Right? Yeah. That's the kind of thing where they know, but they don't want anybody else to know.
Or it was complete stupidity and they left the doors unlocked or something like that. Yeah, I mean,
information that they won't want to tell people because that's how cards get out the back door as well, right? Well, there's an unlocked. We keep the doors unlocked overnight. Right.
Okay, but anyway, our friends at Panini, we do worry about them when they lose the licenses. What is going to happen? They figured it out. They are going to be releasing college cards. They're going to be releasing sets from Nebraska, Ohio State, and Texas that include football players and female volleyball players. They do this because Nebraska has a really good volleyball program and they have one of their players under an exclusive deal. So that's probably why they're starting with them. But yeah, they're going to make college cards for the different schools. They're the first 3. They're going to add more to it. So no worries about Panini. They're going to be good to go from here on out. Right?
This is actually not new. They did this in the past. They did, I think it was National Treasures or Flawless, like specific cases where, all of the cards you pulled were collegiate cards of all those players. So they're going back to something they used to do because, again, no one ever has new ideas. But it's been so long, I think, since they've done that. I think it was pre-pandemic for sure that they had done those type of sets.
These are a little different. These are like a group licensing deal. There are now, because of the NIL deals, there are now becoming group NIL deals kind of for some of the teams in these colleges. So basically, guys that normally wouldn't get an NIL deal for a card or female athletes as well, everybody can have cards made of them and they can share in the revenue from this. So like I joke a little bit about it. I think it's really cool that those athletes who aren't the big name guys, who aren't making all the money, do have a chance to maybe get a little bit of something for playing on Ohio. You're playing football for Ohio State. You're a pretty good football player. Even if you're not necessarily the star on the team, that's an accomplishment in itself. So it's kind of cool. Go ahead.
I've said this for a long time since the NIL deal thing happened. I always was taken aback that, you have this quarterback who could get paid $3 million or whatever on an NIL deal, and then no one else gets anything. And I always thought they should do is the quarterback for this team gets X amount of dollars and it filters down. Like, I know it's not fair, but that quarterback's not making that play without that wide receiver or without that left tackle or without that center. So there needed to be some sort of equity. So it is nice that they're doing that with this. And especially with female athletes, it's really tough for them to get deals unless they're Caitlin Clark or, Angel Reese or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is great. And we all know, I'm sure we all know at least one or two college fans that are just like crazily for their team, and
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like
What are you
yeah, I
trying
mean,
to say? What are you
yeah,
trying to say here?
that I mean, they just like
Any ticket toy made.
they live and breathe, and that is their favorite hobby, as just being a fan of that school. And so yep. And so I feel
Put the hat
like
back on.
yeah.
I know the bald spot really killing me.
So that's a really good idea. I like it, and I do like also that the NIL part of it. Are there going to be legends in there? Because I mean, that's something that they could do. No legends, like, because I mean, you could see them doing something like, you know, UCLA with Troy Aikman autographs in it, that sort of stuff. Like,
And they
or
did
that
that
could be
with
a
the previous.
chase for some of it.
I mean, maybe, like, from what I've read, there's no plans of that now.
Okay.
They said there could be autographs in the future, so I guess they aren't even going to have autographs at first. But like, it's kind of a ground level thing, and you know, might be something they could expand to other stuff like that over time, I'm sure. So, all right, guys. Well, you know, before I wrap things up, I just wanted to make mention of one other thing. Upper Deck will be sponsoring Michael Jordan's 23XI NASCAR team. The car, driven by Tyler Reddick, is going to be painted up with Upper Deck logos on it. It's going to have Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, and Tiger Woods on the hood. I just want to throw this out there. I know nothing about NASCAR. I had no idea Michael Jordan owned a NASCAR team. You learn something new every day.
Joe Theismann I know he does. I didn't know. I mean, I guess maybe Jordan just put money or put his name to something. Knowing Jordan, he sold his name to an actual NASCAR team because he lost a bet and needed some money, and then they're just using his name for this team. There's no way Jordan might not even know he has a NASCAR team, to be fair. But what I did want to say about this is, I'm really kind of surprised that Upper Deck is still. They did not take my advice, man. Maybe you'd still have the Marvel license going forward if you didn't pay Jordan so much for nothing. Like, I don't know what you're doing with these.
That's
athletes.
Not nothing. They're actually going to have autographs from Tyler Reddick and Bubba Watson, who was also one of the racers on the team and very
Any
popular.
Autographs from Jordan or Tiger or Gretzky in there, maybe? Why are you still paying these people so much freaking money? What is happening?
I have an or to Joe's thing, or he lost a bet to an NASCAR team, and that's probably what happened. But I mean, like, this Upper Deck thing with the autographs, like, it seems like it's you know, like a mutual type of thing where they probably like, oh, well, we'll do this if you do this, that kind of thing. But still, if you're that CEO that didn't get your money, like, what are you thinking? Right? Like weren't they like saying about how poor they were? Like, oh, we can't afford to pay you the money.
That was BGS. That was Beckett.
Oh, okay, it was Beckett. Okay.
Do not confuse.
Don't you
Upper
dare
Deck
besmirch Upper Deck
with the scum of the earth like Beckett.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's a little aggressive. That's a little aggressive. Yeah, because we talked about scum of the earth
corporation. Who cares? They don't have enough money to sue me.
That's fair.
Okay, well, you know, if you happen to like NASCAR and you happen to be watching the podcast and you happen to be still here at the end, I apologize for our lack of knowledge on NASCAR. I can't make you any guarantees it's going to be any better next time. I can't guarantee there's ever going to be a next time, but I am sincerely sorry for our lack of knowledge.
If you're a NASCAR fan, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. I'm a huge.
I'm sure
Dale
there are.
Earnhardt
I just
fan.
know nothing about them.
I'm sure Dale Earnhardt doing great things. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, Joe has a jacket and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. That was a pretty good chat this week, and I will see you next week. Take care, guys.
Adios.
See you, boys, and subscribe.
Subscribe down there.